Hi, I'm Heather and this is Behind the Seams at The Life of O'Reilly. Every fortnight I'm sharing what really goes on behind the scenes of running a small independent boutique, the creative parts, the practical parts and everything in between. This is the last 2 weeks. Monday, the first Monday back of 2026, I was up, ready and motivated to get to the boutique and I left the house to ice. A dangerous amount of ice that I was not prepared to drive in, so I decided to work from home in the morning and head there in the afternoon. From my living room, I done some admin. This was time for replying to emails, Etsy messages. I uploaded receipts to my accounting software. I've got my tax return all sent off and paid for, but I'm getting ahead of next year's by keeping on top of the accounts as and when I go. Then I checked how my mum, shout out to Cafe Out, was getting on cutting out the first order of 2026. I then printed out packing slips of the orders we'd received over Christmas. I then cross-referenced orders and decided what fabric needed purchasing and placed the order for fabrics. The ice was still not melting, so I spent some time updating the website, and after lunch I headed to the boutique. Even though I wasn't expecting much footfall in these Arctic conditions, I wanted to get in and get some work done from there. First things first, I gave the place a hoover and a tidy round. Realised I was short on branded stickers, which I print myself on a thermal printer, so I printed some of these out for upcoming orders. I had this bodysuit to package that's getting sent off to Nashville. These thank you notes are stuck inside all of our boxes with a bit of info about our brand and a QR code to scan and leave a review. Here is the moment I realised that I have left the packing slip at home. I quickly drafted up a Swiftie reference graphic to add to the box, with this being a Swiftie order. I like finishing touches like this so the customer knows that I've paid attention. Then I weighed the parcel, ready to purchase postage. Next, I packaged this cute bralette top. This was from our Zero Waste Fabrics range in the summer. It sold on Christmas Day. I'd also received a message asking for one of our costume items, which is stored in the stockroom currently. Getting in there is a task in itself, but it was safely retrieved. A jacket in the style of Pretty Woman for a customer dressing like Vivian for a party this weekend. I messaged the customer to confirm we had one available in her size. Then I purchased postage for the other items which we'd had sales for. We'd also had a rental order for a gold feather dress, which we have in stock, so I got this ready. The only thing is, they preferred our gold peacock feather dress, which isn't in stock currently, but I prepared the peacock feathers ready to transform it. I then drove home under the most beautiful winter sky in time to finish my working day with Stephen. Yes, deal or no deal, catchphrase in for a penny. As long as it involves Mr. Mulhern, I am tuned in. I finished the day editing some content and making sure to post on social media. Into Tuesday, and today I have a yoga class midday, so I'm working from home, ready in my gym wear. Here I'm just doing a bit of admin, replying to customers and then editing some content. I had some voiceovers to do for social media posts. Then I printed off packing slips for orders, which turned into a fight with my printer, which frustrates the life out of me. This happened with my last printer and this new one seems to do exactly the same. But packing slip secured, I checked in with Cafe Out to see how the custom order's coming on, and then off to my yoga class to calm down. After some lunch, I got to work on updating the website. I've been updating the product images and ensuring anything that isn't available anymore or out of stock isn't showing. I have no idea why it's so dark. January probs. I then finished the day by uploading to socials. It's Wednesday and today my hair is not cooperating, and true to form, either is my printer. I'm printing off packing slips of new orders received last night. After disposing of the paper that attacked me, I headed to the shop. I've been making an effort to shoot more content of me in the boutique, so I set up for a bit of a Andy Peters style talking to camera content moment. I checked my messages and had the most gorgeous, just lovely feedback from a customer, which in the voice of Curtis Pritchard, that's made my day, that. The order came through for the Pretty Woman jacket, which I got out, so I give it a steam, ready to ship. Next on my list was adding the peacock feathers to the gold dress, so I prepared it, got it ready to ship, checked it over and realised something was missing. the feathers from by the neck. So I rectified this, and working from the shop front gives me great natural light, but it also means tidying up after myself more often rather than working in the back. So after hoovering up all the loose feathers, it was perfect, ready to go. So I packaged it up and it was ready to go off for a rental order. And this one's for a lady having a 50th birthday party celebration, so I hope she absolutely loves it. Then I got to work on finishing this dress that I started before Christmas and then put it on the back burner. It's an intricate design with lots of hand embellishment, so I've been doing bits of it, going back to it when I've had a chance. I got some of it done in the boutique and then I took it home to finish in the afternoon. I checked where Cathio was up to on the custom order and she'd ran out of fabric to complete it, but she'd completed as much as possible and I put an order in for some to come straight away. So after lunch I edited some content ready to post in the evening. I'd brought the dress home with me to carry on in the most pleasant working conditions, accompanied by Stephen Mulhern once more. I finished the day by posting today's content. Thursday began with me checking emails, replying to customers on Etsy and general admin tasks. I quoted some prices for custom orders, advised some clients of higher availability, and after making myself a coffee I purchased postage labels for existing orders. One of the orders that came through was for a bodysuit from our costume section, which, just like the jacket from Monday, is stored in the stock room. It is organised, but it's still quite a task to get in there. So after successfully retrieving it in the correct size, I put it aside and then I got on to shooting today's What's In video. I wasn't amused that every bin from the street had been left directly outside the shop window, but with the magic of TV I managed to keep them out of shot. I gave the crystal bodysuit a steam, even though it's mesh and any creases had stretched out. It had been hung in a garment bag for months and I just wanted it to look immaculate for the customer. Then back to this dress for a bit more embellishment. By the afternoon, more fabric had arrived, so the custom order could be completed. I printed the packing slip for the bodysuit that I'd steamed earlier, and yet another fight with the printer. I was like, why does it hate me? It really is the jobs that should be the most simple that add unnecessary stress. Any recommendations for a printer that behaves as it should are most welcome in the comments. In the afternoon I edited content, but unfortunately I had a shock refund request from a sale that was sent out back in October. It was a high ticket item, and with January cash flow not being the best, it was a bit of an unwelcome shock. It's probably the worst time to receive a refund request like that, but one of the pitfalls of selling on Etsy is the chargeback window. But I remained positive, professional, resolved it with the customer and reminded myself that something positive can and will arise shortly. It's ebbs and flows, and I ended the evening editing and uploading content to socials. I started Friday by packaging orders ready to go. This included the custom order Kathy was working on and the crystal bodysuit. This process always takes longer than I anticipate. It involves packing the item carefully in tissue paper, bubble wrap if needed, placing it in the box, then in the bag, adding stickers, leaflets, invoice, packing slip, weighing the item, purchasing the postage and printing the labels. It's not as simple as just putting it in a box. And then, if it's an international order, there's an extra layer of tariffs. So this involves me declaring the item by description, weight, value, HS tariff code. There's also 10% due to pay up front. This can double the cost of shipping. So, for example, the custom one going out today, like the bigger one, that cost £70 a post. Then I got into a nice crafty job. I have created a pair of bride-to-be tights as a sample previously, as our lipstick crystal kiss tights are a bestseller. A friend of mine came into the boutique recently to create some content, and I wanted to create some custom tights for her to say thank you. I can also use them as a guide or sort of like test to see if it's something I could offer for other brides. It's a very therapeutic process. As much as it can be fiddly and delicate when placing the glue, it is something I enjoy to create. I'm planning to send these along with a pair of the bride-to-be tights for it in time for her hen do or for photos or a keepsake, whatever she'd like. Her friend also came along and helped on the day with the content too. And she complimented the top that we have in the boutique, so it gave me a feel for what kind of vibe that she likes. And I thought it'd be a nice thought to create a custom headband as well as a thank you to her. So I'm just using some offcuts from the fabric of the top that she liked, and I've added some feathers because the top had feathers on. And yeah, I'm going to send them off to them as like a token of my appreciation for supporting the boutique. And yeah, then again, gave the boutique a quick hoover. I didn't realise how much I'd done it until I watched this back. Then I packed their items, and I know that she's away this week, so I put them aside until it's time to post. I have a client coming in to get measured up tomorrow, so I put my notepad, tape measure aside, ready, check the drinks cabinet, it's all stocked up, and we have a variety of teas, coffees, etc. to offer her. And then I got started on a draft for some content. So we had a giveaway in December, and I was due to announce the winner. So I drafted up the post, ready to post this evening. Checked in with Capio, and she's on to her next order, which just so happens to be the same costume and the same fabric. It's very popular. And to break the fourth wall, I finished my week by compiling the clips I'd shot this week, prepping for this exact behind the scenes video. Then I posted the winner and arranged for her to come in for a fitting in a couple of weeks' time. Saturday, and I am working in the boutique this weekend, but first I went to my weekly bar class, which I absolutely love, before heading to the boutique and meeting the first custom client of 2026. She's commissioned a costume. She's came in, got measured, discussed fabrics, talked through how the completed costume will look. Cafio has joined me today. Say hello to Cafio. While we were at the boutique, I packaged an order that came through last night for a chevron zigzag cord set. This brought me great joy because it means other people are thinking about summer already. And it's Monday. After a day off Sunday, I was back in the boutique first thing Monday morning. First things first, shooting a mannequin video and a what's in video for social media. Then I sat down ready to get some admin done. I found I work better from a low desk. I don't know what it is. I like the natural light in the shop front, but being on the counter doesn't tend to have the same workflow. I don't know what it is. I mean, in the back room feels too dull with no natural light. And it's just nice to see like people walking past, people pop their head in, things like that. So pulled the desk out to work here. I planned out content for long form Valentine's video. I contacted a friend who'll be helping out with that video just to get dates and stuff. Then I also mapped out scripted long form content for the next 3 months. I liaised regarding an upcoming networking event and replied to customer queries, chased a refund owed to me, just got as much admin as I could get done at the beginning of the week done. I checked how Cafio is getting on with the next custom order and updated the customer on her delivery estimate. Time to use the dreaded printer again for my packing slips. Order slip secured. I switched my focus to my ailment. My wrist has been absolutely killing. Not ideal with someone who's on the computer or sewing. I don't know how I've done it. So I put a bandage on, hoping it'd help. I ordered fabric for the orders on the packing slips that I just printed. I also ordered any trims, zips, even like needles, like all the little things like that, hooks and eyes, even a custom embroidery patch for one of the costumes. And then finished the day by uploading to socials. Tuesday, and it's yoga day again. So here I am in my gym wear again, getting some admin done, accompanied by Alan Carr and Stephen Fry. I had one main goal for today, and it was updating the website. I got through a good amount and then set off for yoga. When I came out of yoga, I'd had another order from a customer who'd ordered a costume yesterday, which was really nice to see. So she purchased the costume on Etsy and in the process found the online store and ordered embellished jeans. She wasn't local by any means, hours away, but she was also wanting to plan a trip to Liverpool to visit the boutique, so that was just really nice and really uplifted me. I finished the rest of the day by updating the website. It's so time consuming, but it'll be worth it when it all flows all cohesively. Technically, I took Wednesday off to see a friend, but I still ended up working. That tends to happen. So we're working on a new dress design, so I planned that out, pinned the fabrics to a fit mannequin to get a vision of how they tie in together. Another custom order is ready to go, so I've placed that with the packing slip ready to package. Next on my agenda was updating Facebook products. I haven't been on there for years, so I haven't been utilising Meta Business or product tagging features, things like that. So it means starting from scratch, which again is time consuming, but I'm dedicating January to get a good base with updating the website and marketplaces ready for the year going forward. I'm really satisfied with how the website's looking. I then updated socials to finish my short working day. Thursday, and the first job of the day was changing a light bulb in the shop. I had to try 3 different steps before I could reach it. Now would be a good time as any to mention I could feel a PMDD wave coming on. Now, if you don't know what that is, it stands for premenstrual dysphoric disorder, which is something I suffer with. I usually get like a boost of momentum beforehand, before I can feel the wave coming on. Like I have to get tasks done before I crash because I know it's coming. It's just literally takes over me. So today I dedicated to photographing and shooting content for our first ever supplier. We've only ever stocked our designs in the boutique, and aside from my friend's eyelashes, everything for sale has been created in-house. When I seen these beautiful hand-painted corsets online by Closet Albita, I commented saying how incredibly talented she is, and she replied saying it would be a dream to stock in the boutique. This is how I started out, stocking other boutiques and salons and offering them a commission before I had my own place to sell. So it felt like a real full circle moment to be able to offer that to her. I messaged her right away, and before I knew it, she'd hand-painted and sent over 3 corsets and a necklace to stock at the boutique. I tried them on mannequins with different bottoms from our range, ready to create some content to promote the corsets for Alba, who has started her beautiful brand. In the middle of shooting content, I somehow snapped the signage on our counter. I don't know how it happened. In the middle of a PMDD wave, I just felt like bursting into tears, but the show must go on. I finished shooting the corset, and when I finished, it took me all of 10 minutes to fix the sign. I spent the late afternoon sourcing fabrics for the custom clients who'd been in on Saturday, but I wasn't satisfied with what I was seeing online, so I messaged her and advised that I would be planning a trip to go fabric shopping in person early next week so I could look, feel the fabrics, that sort of thing. She doesn't need a costume till May, so there's plenty of time, and I want it to be exactly as she envisions. Friday, and I don't know why, but my hand's getting worse at this point. I'm convinced it's being on my phone. I've even tried using a stylus, things like that, but I just don't know why. I must have done something to it. So I'm assuming it's because I haven't let it rest. So I've got this wrist support off Amazon, so I will look like Keith Lemon until it eases. I then get onto print and packing slips ready to take for the parcels, and to my amazement, the printer cooperates. Can it sense my hand injury and it's being kind? I don't know. So I get to the shop, and to my despair, I realise I left it in a right mess yesterday, and this is not what I need when I've got a PMDD wave. Or is it? Because tidying up can help distract me, and it's not like I have to make any big decisions or anything. So yeah, I walked a load of dirt in as well though, and it feels like the absolute end of the world. I've had to dress extra cosy because I feel a bit vulnerable and it's freezing out, but yeah. So on the way here as well, I had to convince myself that I'd run out of boxes with logos on, and I don't like sending out orders in like the backup boxes that I have. I had exactly enough for the packaging that I needed to do today, so I felt very, very grateful. So here are the beautiful jeans which were purchased earlier in the week. I also have a custom Shania Twain style order ready to go out, along with a pair of tights, so I set them aside and get to tidying the boutique. I dismantled the backdrop which I'd left up, which, if I'm honest, added absolutely nothing to the shots of the corsets. It was a complete waste of my time. The curtain on the boutique walls worked better for the pictures, but these things are trial and error, I suppose. So I hoovered the boutique a few times over and just generally tidied up. I purchased the postage labels which I needed, packed the orders, and then printed off the labels. I left the boutique much tidier than I found it and worked from home in the afternoon. I spent hours, I feel so negative, but I spent hours updating my TikTok shop, which was then taken down. I can't figure out why. I appealed it twice. I provided evidence of my business, things like that, but I then decided it was a good thing because do I really need another platform to be updating? So yeah, that's the first fortnight of the new year. I am more than ready to switch off for a couple of days and start again Monday. If you're new here, this is Behind the Seams, a quieter look of what goes into running the life of O'Reilly. I'll be sharing these every couple of weeks alongside the more polished pieces that you see elsewhere. Thanks for being here and for supporting small businesses in whatever way you can.